Hello yogis, and welcome to your mat once again. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. So today we're once again back with another intention setting yoga practice. Today you can expect this practice to be about anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, and our main focus, the card that I pulled for you, is called Ahimsa. So this is all about taming the mind, right? Taming the mind in a way that we are not only witnessing our thoughts, witnessing our positive thoughts, and witnessing our not so great thoughts, and then we're choosing to redirect them back to love, redirect them back to compassion and joy. So all of the emotions that you actually want to feel more of. So see what you need to release throughout this practice. We're definitely going to be working on a few spinal twists. So we're going to be working with a few spinal twists. We're going to be really working on releasing all of the stuckness in the upper chest and in the mid back, which usually tends to kind of not only change your posture, but it also kind of, whenever you're holding on to things, then that mid back thoracic area tends to be quite stuck. So we're going to be placing a bit of a focus on that. So use this practice at any time. It is more designed for someone who has done yoga before, so it's more of not so much of a beginner class, but more of an intermediate class. Why don't we just get started? So why don't we begin first with easy pose, just in a nice, simple, easy seated position. And from here, just gently close your eyes, take a deep breath through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Just sort of find yourself where you are today. No judgment, just witness exactly what's coming up. And exhale. Let's do that one more time. And slow exhale. Last one. And slow exhale through the mouth. Think of this idea of compassion and what that actually means to you, and how you can cultivate more of that in your day, in your weekend, in the next 10 minutes of your life. Last deep breath, and let's send it all out into the universe. Your next inhalation, gently open your eyes and we'll begin to move. So let's first find ourselves in table. So once again, we're going to find our shoulders and our arms parallel, and same thing with your knees are hip width apart, with your feet flat. And so from here, at your next inhalation, round your back, nice beautiful curve, chest forward, inhale, and exhale into cat. One more time. All about just warming up the spine. One more round. Now come back to table and just gently begin to sway your hips side to side. See intuitively just what wants to move, perhaps what feels stuck today, if anything. You may want to come down into child's pose and come back to table a few times. And at your next inhalation, tuck your toes under. Still stay in table, but we're in the next inhalation, we're going to lift our knees, just gently float it, and we're going to hold for 3 breaths. Are you ready? And 1, 2, 3, and release. You can gently release your arms by coming back into child's pose. And just remember that at any time if this practice is too much, you can always just come back down here and join whenever you are ready. Okay, now from here, you can come back to table once again. And from table, float your hands up to the sky. And at your next exhalation, just gently thread it through for the upper back twist. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Your next inhale, come back to table, and we're going to switch sides. So your next inhale, float your right arm to the sky, and exhale for thread the needle. And just breathe. To your next inhalation, come back to table, and from here we're going to float our legs back into our first downward facing dog. Again, if you need to, you may want to pedal out your dog, see what feels right, see how tight your calves are. Mainly work more on bringing your chest to your knees, activate nice and strong in the back. We're going to bring our toes to touch. So first we'll begin with floating your right leg up in the sky, or bring it into your chest. Inhale it back up. Exhale, bring it between your hands. And when you're feeling steady, place your left hand on the ground and exhale for an upper back twist. 2 breaths here. Your next exhalation, you bring your arm back down to the mat and step back into your plank. We'll go through your flow. So exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll repeat this on the other side. So float your left leg up to the sky. Bring your knee to nose. Exhale it back up. And inhale, bring your legs between your hands. Place your right hand on your mat and exhale your arm into the upper twist. 2 more breaths here. Exhale your arm back down to the mat, step back, and let's go through another flow. So exhale, lower. Inhale, halfway, or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now from here, look between your hands and step or hop to the top of your mat. Bring your feet into hip width apart. And here you can hang on to opposite elbows, and we're just going to hang in ragdoll. So allow everything to be nice and relaxed and loose. Your next inhale, slowly and with control, come back up to standing into mountain. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, hands up. Exhale and sit in chair. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And from here we'll go through another flow just like that. Inhale all the way to the top of your mat into mountain. Hands up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale once more. Hands in prayer, heart center, sit in chair. And we'll go through a prayer twist. So at your next inhalation, bring your elbow to the outside of your knee. So lower right into your chair. And if this is available to you, then bring your elbow to the outside of your knee. Make sure that your knees don't sway side to side. If this is too much, you can also hang on to the outside of your knee and bring your left arm to the low back for support. Inhale to center. Come back and let's do a reset. Hands to heart center and come back into twist to your right side. Again, if this is too much, then hang on to the outside of your knee and right arm on your low back for support. Come back into center. Come back to standing. Now from mountain, here we're going to be setting up for dancers. Just take a moment and catch your breath. And we're going to place our weight into our left hand first and bring your right leg back in. And as you go, make sure that you square your hips, chest nice and open, and make sure that you breathe. Hands are on your hips. And when you're ready, bend your leg or bend your knee. You may want to bring the left hand and float it up into the sky. And as you do, you may want to lean in for dancers while you're actively kicking in your feet and in your hand. 2 more breaths. From here, release and bring both hands forward, and we're going to topple in for warrior 3. 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, bring your back leg to the mat and set up for warrior 2. Nice and strong. Your next inhale, come into your side angle for 2 more breaths. Come back into warrior 2. So basically here, straighten the front leg, lean forward, and if this is available to you, you can gently lower your arm to the inside of your leg. If this is too much, you're welcome to use a block. Again, we're working on opening up the chest. Your next inhale, remove the block if you haven't already. Bring both hands to the mat and for your low lunge. Step back into your lunge, and let's lower for another flow. Inhale for up dog. And exhale for downward facing dog. Look between your hands and step or hop to the top of your mat. Slowly come to standing. Hands up for mountain. Exhale for prayer. Now from here, bring your hands back into mountain like we did earlier. But now we're going to shift the weight into the right leg and just gently start floating your left leg off the ground. And if you're ready, bend your knee and you can kick it right into your hands. Perhaps for extra support or extra help with balance, bring your right arm overhead and gently start leaning in for dancers for 2 more breaths. Now from here, release, bring both hands overhead and kick your feet out in for warrior 3. 2 more breaths. And if you lose your balance, it's totally fine. When you're ready, with control, step back into your warrior 2. Nice and strong. And come into your side angle. Step back into your warrior. Straighten the front leg. Lean forward and in for your triangle. Again, you're welcome to use your block if you have it for extra support. And your gaze can go up towards the sky or on the ground or wherever it feels comfortable. Remove the block, cartwheel your hands down to the ground, frame your feet in for your low lunge, and step back into your plank, and we'll go through another flow. Inhale for up dog and exhale for downward facing dog. Bring your knees down to the ground. Come into your child's pose. And really contemplate this idea of shifting your mind towards the things that are actually working for you, the things that bring you joy, versus the ways that you don't measure up. How can you bring more compassion to yourself, to others today? Maybe just for the next 5 minutes. Stay here as long as you need to. And if you're coming with me, then activate your hands. Come back into table, and we're going to begin our floor sequence. So we're going to be setting up for boat. So for that, I'm going to actually just keep my knees nice and bent. Find your angle, whatever works for you here. And you may float your hands up, but if you're ready, then we're going to bring your feet, just float it off the ground, and perhaps float your arms as well. And we're going to be here for 3 breaths. And when you're ready, just gently bring it down to the ground. Straighten out both feet if you haven't already. And we're going to be setting up for our forward fold. Once again, we're going to bend our legs. Bring it to the inner thigh. Bring your right leg onto the inner thigh of your left leg. You can create a nice little compression and float your hands up. And exhale, forward fold. And think forward rather than hunching your back. So even if this is how far you come, that's totally fine. And perhaps bring your hands a little bit more forward and see what your body allows today. And just breathe. Come back to seated. Let's switch sides. Again, legs are nice and active. Your left leg can just rest here on the inner thigh. And when you're ready, float your hands up and exhale, forward fold. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Last one. When you're ready, come back up to seated. And here we're going to just lay down. I'm going to meet you. Okay. So from here you can bring both knees to your chest. You can hug it in and do a gentle rocking. And bring your hands out to the side of the mat. Look to your right while you're gently twisting to your left. Now you may want to adjust here. You can use your left hand to add a bit more resistance, or you can hang on to the side of your ribs for more support. Your next inhalation, come back to center. Again, you might want to rock it side to side. And when you're ready, we're going to twist to the right. Obviously, remove your block. So we're going to twist to the right with your left arm active and your gaze towards the left. Two more breaths. Your next inhale, come back to center. Bring your knees to your chest. And you can grab on the outside heel of your feet for happy baby and just rock. Bring your knees back to your chest. And we can set up for our final Savasana. Palms facing the sky and nothing to do. Just take nice deep breaths. Give yourself lots of gratitude for taking the time today to showing up on your mat. And see in what way you can bring more love and more compassion into your day and into your life, even if it's just for the next 10 minutes. If you're choosing to stay longer in Savasana, and if you're ready, you can come to a seated position whenever you're ready. Take your time, roll to your right side, and come to a nice seated position, taking all the time you need. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Take one last deep breath together. I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing your practice with me. I am so honored and glad to be here with you. I hope that this has served you in the best possible way. And if you choose to stay longer in your Savasana, and if this concludes your practice, I honor the fact that you have shown up, and thank you so much for coming by. If you enjoy videos like this one, you already know how you can share the love, share the good vibes by supporting this channel, and you can share it with your friends. You can also give it a thumbs up, all of the good things. And I cannot wait to see you guys in next week's flow. And namaste.